Greetings and salutations, everyone. And to all of you, happy Halloween, happy Samhain. Today is October 6th, 2024. And I'm going to do something today that I have never done before. So for all of you out there that have been struggling with alternate picking, can't seem to get that down, well, this is it, everyone. Today is the day that I'm going to help you with that, because all of your difficulties technically will be resolved with this lesson from one of my most favorite shredders, due to the fact that A, he's been ripping it up since he was 15 years old on shrapnel, taught at GIT. I'm sure some of you out there may have a slight inkling, an idea of who it is that I'm making reference to. And if you guessed Paul Gilbert from Racer X, you are correct. So, we are going to cover that great intro for this lesson. How to Play Technical Difficulties by Racer X, featuring Paul Gilbert, Part 1, because this will have to be a two-parter, no doubt about it. All right, everyone, so first things first, let me give you my low A and my low E. Now the low E. Everyone, so first and foremost, my settings on my amp. I'm using the Boss Katana, the MK2, as usual. Well, not always, but for the shred stuff for sure. All right, and my setting is the lead channel. My gain, the distortion, is at about 80%. I've tried to turn it all the way up, but it just keeps feeding back on me, so I cut back a little bit. I'll have to be careful with my volume here, too, because I start feeding back. Now, not that that's a bad thing. You know, Jimi Hendrix loved it. All right, anyway. So, my bass setting is at about 10 o'clock. My treble is all the way up. My mids are at about almost 1 o'clock, like between 12 and 1. And my reverb and my delay are at 11 o'clock. And my master volume is at about 11 o'clock. All right, and I have my bridge pickup on. And here we go, everyone. So the first thing that I also want to address in terms of the picking, because there seems to be a lot of controversy with this. Now, I know Paul Gilbert in his instruction DVDs, he talks a lot about inside picking, outside picking. You know, I've tried both, and with this particular pedal tone, because the main riff is a pedal tone, because you're pedaling off of one root note, which I'll show you what I mean. And then in between those, there are some scale phrasing, right? Short phrases. All right? So, we're going to go through that slowly so you guys can really figure out how this thing goes. That way it is no longer technically difficult for you with these technical difficulties you're having. You'll be technically proficient, hopefully, by the time we are done with this lesson. All right, so number one is the pedal tone. We're right here in the key of C, right? 3rd fret, 5th fret on the A string and the D. Okay, but we're going to start off with this note right here on the 5th fret of the D string. And then we're going to go to this note right here on the 3rd fret of the A, and we're going to hit that twice. We're palm muting, by the way. So you got to make sure you got your palm on the bridge of that guitar because you got to mute these notes. It's got to sound like this. So again, this is what we're doing. We're going. Slower. Okay. The next one for that pattern is going to be right here on the 7th fret of the A and the 10th fret of the D, which will be the starting note. And then again, back to this note here on the 7th fret of the A, and then we're going to go to the D string on the 9th fret of the D, and again, back to this note right here that we start with on the D string on the 10th fret. So this next series for this pedal tone is going to go like this. Follow that, everyone? Now we have 2 scale phrases to bridge those together for the transition, okay? So the first one is going to be right here. First one is going to be right here on the low E string, starting on the 7th fret to the 8th fret to the 10th fret. And same exact phrase on the A string. So 7, 8, and 10. So now with these, you're going to want to pick up first so that you end on a down so that you can go right to that pedal tone very easily with that transition. Here's what I mean. Wrong note. Then we're going to go from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret to the 7th fret on the low E. And the same thing on the A. And every note has to be picked. Again, you want to start with a down, or I'm sorry, an up pick so you end on a down. again, here's how we're going to do this. This is what it should sound like. Alright, so let me show you what the other parts are. So once again, let's cover a couple of these slowly, and I'll show you what the other parts are. And we're going to start again with... I always end up going back to that out of habit. This note right here, like we do here, but it's not it. It's got to go like this. There's our next transition from the 10th to the 12th to the 14th on the A, the 10th to the 12th to the 14th on the D. Then we're going to go exactly back to the first pedal tone pattern we did here in the key of C. Basically, that's what this is. You're just moving it up octaves. That's what Paul Gilbert is doing. All right, it's just moved up in octaves. So basically, you got phrases in between pedal tones. That's what this is. And some scale sequences. All right? So, on this part, what we're doing is we're going like this. Look at my picking. Go from the 14th to the 15th to the 17th on the A. And similar but different on the D, we're going to go 14, 16, 17. So 14, 15, 17 on the A, and 14, 16, 17 on the D. So it'll be this. So again. Then we're going to go on the high E. And what this is going to be is we're going to go 14 on the high E, 12 on the high E, 10 on the high E. Then we're going to string skip and we're going to go to the G note right here on the 12th, or I'm sorry, not the 12th fret. Sorry, the 14th fret on the G, 12th fret on the G, and the 11th fret on the G. Now, here's a great way to test when you're doing string skipping, and if you want to know with what you're doing solo-wise, is it in key? Pedal tones are the answer. Watch this. So again, the first three notes to this pattern that Paul Gilbert is doing is 14, 12, 10 on the high E, right? Right like that. Now watch. If I hit this note right here on the 14th fret of the high E, and I take my middle finger and I go to the note on the G string that he uses, also on the 4th fret, watch. And then the 12th fret, and then the 11th fret. Okay, now, the note on the 12th fret on the high A, or E, high E, sorry. So if I hit that note and do the same thing with doing a pedal tone with the notes he chose for this sequence on the G string. And again, same thing. This note right here on the 12th fret, why do I keep going backwards in my explanation? I am sorry. I'm thinking in reverse. It's called a Freudian slip, everyone. I'm sorry. All right, now we are at the 10th fret on the high A, E, high E. So we went like this. So this note right here on the 10th fret on the high E, we can do the pedal tones again with the selection notes he picked when he string skipped to the G string. Right here, the 14th fret of the G, 12th fret of the G, and the 11th fret of the G. So watch this. So, perfect pitch. Like, it's just amazing. Right? So then after that, right, he goes back to this. Again, another octave down, right? From where we were. The last one we did was here. Then he does this sequence. And I'm going to show you two different ways to do this. This is 3 notes per string. All right? Very typical of neoclassical guitar players. So that's something to bear in mind right there. 3 notes per string. 3 is the key number with music, especially neoclassical. All right. So, we're going to go from 17 on the high E to 14 on the high E to 11 on the high E. Then we're going to skip the B string. Because again, Paul Gilbert is notorious for string skipping. Then we're going to go to the G string and do the exact same pattern. 17 on the G, 14 on the G, 11 on the G. So we're going... also do it like this because it's the same notes, exactly the same notes, okay? So, if we go right here on to the high E string and we box it as an arpeggio, which I taught this in my previous lessons, okay? For example, the How to Shred with Black Star covering Yngwie's style, right? So check that out. Anyways, if we go from fret 15 on the high E to the 12th fret on the high E, the 14th fret on the B, the 15th fret on the G, the 12th fret on the G, and the 14th fret on the D. Exactly the same notes we just used. Go like this. Same as this. All right. So let's pick up right here, right after to that pedal tone. Then the last pedal tone that we're going to cover here in this lesson is going to be right here. So I don't know if he's doing it this way, right here. My guess would be yes, but I've seen a lot of these tabs that show it like this. But I'm going to lean towards this right here. 17th fret on the G, 16th fret on the G, and the 14th fret on the D. Alright, after that, we got the licks from hell, which I'm going to cover in the next part. Alright, so, once again, slowly, this is the whole thing that we covered in this lesson. Right here. right, everyone. That will be it for this part of how to play Technical Difficulties by Racer X, featuring Paul Gilbert on guitar, part 1. And I will be back soon with part 2 with his licks from hell off of Technical Difficulties. Thank you. Have a great one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, post a comment, let me know what you think. Subscribe to my channel, and please hit that like, smash that like button. And I will see you soon, everyone. Happy Samhain. Take care. I'll see you soon. Have a great one.